Good, good day. Thank you for joining us online today. I'm presenting a paper that is co-authored by Prof. Horne and Dr. Maboa. The paper is on enhancing crime analysis in the South African Police Service Crime Information Management and Analysis Center, where we have developed a structured framework for information flow, reporting systems, and feedback mechanism. So South Africa has got high crime level that constrains socio-economic development and also undermine public confidence. The national development recognizes crime as a barrier to economic participation and social stability. Effective policing increasingly depends on transforming information into actionable knowledge. The SAPS has, however, to deal with crime, established Crime Information Management and Analysis Center with the aim that the CIMAC will generate and disseminate crime intelligence at station level. Yet operationalization of the CIMAC remains uneven. CIMAC faces limited analytical capacity, inadequate training, poor analyst operator communication, and also inconsistent reporting. Critically, predominantly unidirectional information flow with no structured feedback. In this study, we have used qualitative case study of CIMAC within the Tshwane Policing District, guided by the interpretivist paradigm. We have conducted interviews with 48 semi-structured interviews were conducted purposively, where we have selected participants from the CIMAC. We have interviewed station commanders, detective, visible policing head, as well as the crime registrar officials. We also interviewed 2 international crime analyst experts. The data collection or the interviews were also supplemented by documentary analysis of policies and operational guidelines. So the role of CIMAC at station is to transfer raw data. They get raw data from crime databases, case dockets, operational reports, community inputs. Then they analyze that raw data in order to develop patterns, to identify hotspots, to map the crime, to check the trend recognition, and also to check the offender behavior, so that they can then give the intelligence or the information to the operational members, who will then use it for operational planning, resource allocation, and crime prevention strategies. So crime analysis is a systematic process of converting unstructured data into meaningful intelligence. This transformation is not merely technical. It requires organizational alignment, skilled personnel, and supportive institutional cultures. The rapid expansion of big data and predictive analytics has increased both opportunities and complexities of this process. Where analytical structures are weak, outputs risk being underutilized, limiting impact on crime control. So the CIMAC experienced challenges in terms of information flow and reporting. So the information flow failures include fragmented, siloed system across units, information confined within departments, duplication of effort and delayed transmission, overload from digital data growth, and also transnational crimes demand across boundary sharing. So the reporting system weaknesses are that there is no standardized templates across station. There is overly technical outputs misaligned with user needs. There's limited use of GIS, dashboards, and visualization tools. And then analysts institutionally are undervalued. reports are disseminated without structured feedback. They disseminate reports to the operational members. However, they don't get feedback as to the effectiveness of the reports that they have submitted. So effective reporting must function as an interactive platform, not merely a dissemination mechanism. So intelligence-led policing promotes proactive strategies grounded in continuous data collection, analysis, and application. Its core model, the intelligence cycle, comprises 4 stages, which includes collection, analysis, feedback, and dissemination. Dissemination and feedback. So in practice, police organizations prioritize the first 3 stages while neglecting feedback and evaluation. And without feedback loops, the cycle remains incomplete. Analysts cannot refine their outputs, operational units cannot communicate evolving needs, and organizational learning stagnates. So we also went on to look at what are the international best practices. And we realized that professionalization is one of the best practices in the US and UK, where analysts hold accredited certification via IACA, and then with structured career pathways, ensuring quality and retention. We've also find out that there is standardization or uniform templates for crime pattern analysis and threat assessments that enable comparability across local, regional, and national levels. And then analysts participates in daily briefings and planning meetings, ensuring outputs align directly with frontline priorities. And the other best practice is that there is also advanced technology where GIS, predictive analytics, and interoperable databases enable sophisticated spatial temporal analysis and rapid dissemination of information. So we also had 4 critical findings, which talks to the knowledge conversation gap. Analytical outputs exist but are inconsistently applied. We receive reports, but many members do not really understand how to use them. This is one of the feedback that we received from the participants. And then there is limited reporting usability. There is no uniform structure across stations. Some reports are too technical and operational members struggle to interpret them. Reports are produced regularly but not consistently used in planning. We also find that there is fragmented and directional information flow, where information silos persist across units. Each department works on its own. There is not enough coordination between CIMAC detectives and visible policing members. Reports are sent out from the CIMAC office, but feedback rarely returns. Another key finding was the absence of feedback loops, where the feedback stage of the intelligence cycle is missing. One of the participants mentioned that we collect and analyze information, but the feedback part is missing. We don't get feedback from operational members. And without it, analyst repeats outputs without knowing their impact. In terms of systematic barriers to integrated intelligence policing in CIMAC, despite the availability of multiple data sources, crime databases, case dockets, and operational reports, empirical findings reveal that these resources are not systematically integrated within CIMAC. The result is a structurally fragmented analytical environment that falls short of dynamic cyclical intelligence model policing demands. As I've indicated, we have also found that there are organizational silos where different use the units are working in silos. There is communication gap where engagement between analysts and operational members is reactive rather than continuous. We also have unidirectional information flow where analytical products are disseminated outward to operational units, but structured feedback mechanisms are largely absent. So in response to the identified deficiencies, the study advances a structured information flow and reporting framework that repositions CIMAC as a genuine central analytical hub. The framework conceptualizes information flow, reporting, and feedback as interdependent components of a unified system, addressing a key gap in existing literature where these elements are routinely treated in silos. The framework design principles are that there is now bi-directional information exchange between analysts and operational units. There is formalized feedback loops to support iterative analytical refinement. There is structured communication channel that operate continuously and not reactively. So the framework directly addresses the misalignment between analytical outputs and operational decision-making by embedding structured feedback into every stage of the intelligence cycle. This is the proposed framework that I have just explained of the information flow and reporting structure. So this framework is showing the importance of feedback to and from the CIMAC office, the importance of feedback from the operational members, which are the station commander, the detectives, the visible policing commander, to the CIMAC office. Hence, I've said the proposed framework encourages the structured information flow, institutionalized feedback, standardized reporting, and also that they should be specialized training, formal career pathways, and embedding analysts in operational planning meetings, briefings, and strategic decision making. So the core finding was that CIMAC's effectiveness is constrained by fragmented information system, inconsistent reporting, and absent feedback loops, not by inherent structural deficiencies. Effectiveness of CIMAC depends on alignment between organizational structures, communication practices, and human capacity. The proposed framework offers both conceptual advancement and a practical tool. In terms of future research, we're saying research should assess the framework's implementation across diverse policing contents and measure its impact on crime reduction outcomes. So if CIMAC is properly supported and integrated, it can make a big difference in reducing crime. Thank you so much for joining us today. This brings us to the end of our presentation.